What are the challenges that you face? What is it that you struggle with? There's no problem in human life that apprenticeship to Jesus cannot solve. Being a disciple of Jesus means being with Jesus so we can become like Jesus, so that we can do the things that Jesus did. Jesus is inviting us into apprenticeship with him to become Jesus' disciple, not just a believer, not just a churchgoer, but a disciple. And Jesus' disciples are the ones who experience that flourishing life. In fact, they're really the only ones who can experience a truly flourishing life, because that life is found in being with Jesus, becoming like Jesus, and learning to do what Jesus did. We Americans tend to think that if we're having trials, either we're doing something wrong or God is mad at us, right? One or the other. That's why we're having trials. If we have a challenging relationship or a difficult job or any other hardship, we want to escape it and find something easier. But as we all know, it is largely through the challenges and the trials and the suffering and the difficulties that we are transformed. And not just by gritting our teeth to get through it, but by drawing near to Jesus in the midst of it and letting his love shape us. What matters most, Jesus says, is if we are doing the will of our Father. And his will is that we all know Jesus in this deep and intimate way, so that what we do will flow out of that. John 15:8 says, "This is to my Father's glory, that we bear much fruit, showing ourselves to be his disciples." Our Father's will is that we be with Jesus, so we become like Jesus, so we can do the things that Jesus did. Amen? Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, I have so much rottenness in me, I'm toast. Then I want to speak a word of grace to you, because we're all in process, right? I mean, to some degree, we hear something like this, we might all think that to some degree. None of us will be fully healthy inside. None of us will be fully who God created us to be until we're resurrected, right? Right. The community of the church is meant to be the place where it's safe to be open and honest about that. Where we can share our struggles and our temptations and our questions and our failures and help each other grow toward wholeness in a gentle and loving way. The flourishing life of God does not just happen, right? It's not something we're going to wake up one day and just have. It takes intentionality on our part. It takes courage. It doesn't mean we make it happen. We can't make it happen. The life of God is a gift of grace, right? It's the only way we receive the life of God is as a gift of grace. But we do have a part to play in receiving that gift. We are not called to simply be believers. We are not called to simply be churchgoers. We are not called to be religious in the sense of looking good or saying the right words. We are called to be disciples of Jesus. We are called to be apprentices of Jesus. We're called to be with Jesus so we become like Jesus, so we can do the things that Jesus did. That is how we begin to experience and grow in our experience of the flourishing life now, and that is how we get to enjoy then the flourishing life forever.